Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us for the last edition of the 6 p.m. English news this week over the Republican television. Let's begin with our headlines. Cameroon has joined the rest of the world this Friday, December 10th, to commemorate the World Human Rights Day under the theme Equality. The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Munina Futsu, Special Representative of His Excellency President Paul Biya, has presided over the dual ceremony of the Youth Plan Connect Cameroon and the Special Trainer Youth Plan at the Yaoundé Town Hall. The 2021 election of the Cameroon Football Federation Fcfa will climax tomorrow, Saturday, December 11th in Yaoundé, as 76 delegates will be voting the Federation President and members of the Executive Bureau with 4 candidates. Those were our headlines. We'll have details in a bit. Let's begin the news at the National Assembly, where the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honorable Kamer, has requested that the Olembe Stadium should be named Paul Biya Stadium. He was speaking this Friday, December 10th, at the Conference Center during the close at the 3rd Ordinary Session, which took place in Yaoundé. We have details with Bertrand Tita.
After meeting successfully for a month for the 3rd plenary sitting of the National Assembly at the Conference Center, their temporal venue, the session has finally come to an end this Friday, December 10th, 2021. During the closing ceremony chaired by House Speaker, the Right Honorable Jibril, called on Cameroonians to be ambassador of peace, portray the act of patriotism during the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations that Cameroon will be hosting. In his closing speech, the House Speaker requested the Olembe Stadium to be officially named Paul Biya Stadium. The plight of school-going children in the troubled English-speaking regions of Northwest and Southwest was equally raised in the closing plenary sitting of the National Assembly by members of the network of female parliamentarians. They recalled the Kumba and Ekondo Titi carnage and pleaded on separatist fighters to drop their arms as they strongly condemned these acts of barbarism against education. The 3rd ordinary sitting, initially dedicated for next year's budget, where government ministers were before the Finance and Budget Committee, this year's 3rd ordinary sitting saw all the committee at work to resolve pertinent issues: human rights, Anglophone crisis, refugees, and internally displaced persons, among others, preoccupied the lawmakers during this session. With a budget of 5,762.4 billion CFA francs voted during this session, has a budget plans for a 4.4% GDP growth, 1% higher than the 3.4% expected in 2021 and 0.7% recorded in 2020.
As you heard in one of our lead stories, under the theme Equality, Cameroon has joined the rest of the globe this Friday, December 10th, to commemorate the World Human Rights Day. In the following report, our staffman Bertrand Tita looks at the various areas of human rights violation in the country and the possible solutions put in by the government to ameliorate the situation. His report.
Significant human rights issues in Cameroon, including unlawful arbitrary killings by the security and armed Anglophone separatists, Boko Haram, forced disappearances by non-state armed groups, torture, cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment or punishment, harsh and life-threatening prison terms, unlawful interference with privacy, restriction on freedom of expression, the press, internet, unjustified arrest or persecution of journalists, censorship, criminal labor laws, corruption, recruitment of child soldiers, trafficking in persons are some of the human rights violations in Cameroon perpetuated by both the officials and non-state armed groups. Although the government of Cameroon took steps to identify, investigate, prosecute and punish officials who committed human rights abuses, it did not do systematically and rarely made the proceedings public. Some offenders continue to act with impunity. Law number 2004/016 of November 8, 1990 and decree on July 22, 2004, the government of Cameroon created the National Commission on Human Rights and Freedoms, an independent institution for consultation, monitoring, evaluation, dialogue, concerted action, promotion and protection in the domain of human rights. The Commission also receives denunciation of human rights violation, conducts inquiries and impacts penitentiary establishment, popularizes human rights instruments, works hand in gloves with NGOs and proposes measures to the authorities in areas of human rights. Several seminars nationwide to enlighten and curb the violation of human rights in Cameroon can equally not be underestimated.
Let's now take you to the northwest region of the country, where some people along the main road from Hospital Roundabout to the Mbengui Road neighborhood are in tears, as over 40 houses and 9 shops at the Hospital Roundabout went up in flames. The incident did not only destroy properties but claimed 4 human lives. We have details with our northwest regional correspondent, Neba Jerome.
The people's right to shelter has been violated as over 40 homes, cars and shops have been set ablaze with 4 dead recorded in an area called Mbengui Road located in the Bamenda 2 subdivision. According to eyewitness account, the fire outbreak on houses and business structures came as a result of an attack staged by the non-state actors on a military vehicle using an improvised explosive device.
It was about 3:15 in the afternoon that I was inside. I was inside with my grandson, and I just had a very large explosion that sounded like a bomb. I fell on the ground. Then I just got up, and then I just heard sounds of heavy guns all over. So I was just inside. I did not know where to go, whether to go out, so I just stayed in. Then the gunshots was too much. So I was like from one room to another. Then I heard some and then I overheard some footsteps around my house. Then I saw military men. They surrounded all my house.
Mrs. Tumasang Stella explained that she was inside her house with this 2-year-old child when the incident happened.
I saw military men. They surrounded all my house. Then I saw this building in flames through this window. I saw flames coming out. So now I started seeing but fire in this other building. So I was crying. Before I know, smoke was coming out of this other section of this apartment. I ran and went this other side. Then the smoke was just coming. Then my room was burning. Then I wanted to go out, but the military people were outside. They were shooting gun behind my house. I don't have any identification. All my children documents.
The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Mununa Futsu, personal representative of His Excellency President Paul Biya, has presided over the dual ceremony of the Youth Plan Connect Cameroon and the Special Trainer Youth Plan at the Yaoundé Town Hall. Present were 500 youths who have shown a proof of their patriotism in valorizing Made in Cameroon. And Umeko was present. Her report.
About 500 youths from the 10 regions of Cameroon, all involved in the construction of a prosperous country, gathered to celebrate the second edition of Youth Connect Cameroon and the solemn opening ceremony of the Special Trainer Youth Plan. Platforms put in place by the government to accompany these patriotic youths to work closely and put together their rich experiences in boosting the economy.
I would like to remind all the actors that it is only by working closely together that we will take up this challenge, that of making youth entrepreneurship a powerful lever in boosting our economy. Therefore, I call on you not to give up and encourage you to put your rich experience at the service of your juniors so that we can achieve the emergence of our country, which the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, so earnestly desires.
As models of development, youth make up more than 60% of the population and need to be encouraged and strengthened.
The need to better capitalize on the demographic dividend in Africa with a view to further strengthening the participation of youth people, who makes up 60% of the population in most of our countries on the continent. It is in this spirit that the Youth Connect initiative was born, organized around 7 components. It should be recalled that the model developed places the young person at the center of the whole process. This was reflected in the organization of national youth consultation before the project document was drawn up. The involvement of youth people in this whole process was at the center of the initiative.
Despite their challenges they encounter as they strive to contribute to the sustainable development of the country, their performances are still outstanding and very much encouraging. The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monona Fosso, special representative of the Prime Minister Head of Government, chairs the colorful ceremony on 9th December, a way to encourage startups and valorize made in Cameroon for the sustainable development of the country.
Still in connection to that story, on behalf of the 500 youth taking part in the twin celebration of the Youth Connect Cameroon and the Special Triennial Youth Plan, Clovis Kenka Mwambo from the Southwest region sent a special message of appreciation to His Excellency President Paul Biya. Let's listen to him in an excerpt carefully selected by Anne Omeko.
Considering your very high instruction to leave the 3-year Special Youth Plan funding package as it is, in spite of its budgetary adjustment made during the 2020 financial year. Considering your constant concern for young Cameroonians, the spearhead of the nation and the main actors in the implementation of your greater opportunities policy. Considering your very high approval for the official launching of the Youth Connect Cameroon initiative on the 9th of December 2019 at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sport Complex. Being confident that the holding of this exhibition fair has made it possible to boost the visibility of the 3-year Special Youth Plan, the promotion of the recipients, startup, and economic patriotism by consuming made in Cameroon products. Being confident of the significant contribution of startups of young recipients to the government import substitution policy and their alignment with Cameroon's industrialization master plan. Do express to Your Excellency our heartfelt and deep gratitude for your constant interest in the youth. Do affirm to you our unflinching adherence to your greater opportunities policy, the fruit of which are visible, noticeable, and tangible. thank you for the various actions undertaken under the leadership in favor of the supervision and development of the Cameroonian youth.
The Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft, Achille Basiliken Troa, says Cameroon handicraft artists are making the country proud. He expressed optimism the artisans will stand out when Cameroon hosts the International Handicraft Exhibition next week in Yaoundé, with several foreign countries to be participants. We have details with Isaac Ngonkum.
Cameroon is a blessed country indeed. Just taking a look at some handicraft realizations at the Hilton Hotel Handicraft Exhibition Fair currently ongoing in Yaoundé leaves visitors with much admiration for the handicraft artisans in the country. No doubt the Director General of the hotel establishment has vowed to accompany the Made in Cameroon products go international.
To work with our communities and to give support to the local artisan to sell their Cameroonese products. And Hilton, I think, is offering this exposure to them to help them to sell their 100 Made in Cameroon products.
To the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft, the exposition ceremony is just a dress rehearsal for the International Handicraft Exhibition that Cameroon will be hosting in the days ahead.
The 80 participants have the opportunity here not only to display their products, but also at the same time to demonstrate their creativity. And it is also an opportunity for them to rehearse, because as I've said, from the 15th to the 24th of December, Yaoundé will be hosting the International Handicraft Exhibition that is under the very high patronage of the head of state.
The minister is confident the Cameroonian handicraft products will receive international acclaim during the exhibition.
23 countries are expected, and I am quite sure that those Cameroonians who are displaying their products here will be competing, because there is also a competition in the context of this international exhibition, where precisely the best are going to be awarded some prizes. And I'm quite convinced that from what we are seeing here today, certainly handicraft products in terms of production in our country have a best future.
The brief parade made by this handicraft artisan is proof positive Cameroon is ready to shine. With the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations just around the corner, Cameroon, fondly referred to as Africa in miniature, will have the opportunity to showcase the rich cultural diversity of the country, translated through these beautiful handicraft items to the rest of the world.
The Secretary General of the United Nations Organization, Antonio Guterres, has blamed the increasing act of genocide and other terrorist atrocities on the international community's failure to decide and make a swift move. He made this statement on his Twitter handle this Friday, December 10th, where he equally called for collective and prompt action against the act of a genocide. We have details with Bertrand Tita.
From climate change to conflicts to COVID-19, which is putting the Sustainable Development Goals further out of reach.
The United Nations Secretary General has stated that increased genocide and other similar atrocious acts are due to the international community's failure to decide and act swiftly. On his Twitter handle, Mr. Antonio Guterres noted that these failures of the international community are leads to repeated happenings over the past years. He further says that working together now to preserve human dignity and ensure quality is the only way to avoid the unending genocidal errors of the past. His universal message urging for collective work for human dignity comes barely one day after devastating images and videos have incriminated Cameroonians for having killed over a dozen innocent people and set ablaze many homes at Mbengui Road, a neighborhood in Bamenda. The recent misguided and baseless actions on the innocent is one of many of its kind, a major reason why southern Cameroonians flee to bushes in neighboring Nigeria despite already multitudes in the Nigerian territory. As of yesterday, December 8, 2021, many more English-speaking Cameroonians had been rendered homeless as a result of a proposed fire exchange between the military and separatist fighters on professional action. A situation which Thabo Nagi, U.S. diplomat, had earlier said would rather create more Amazonian warriors than alleviate the sufferings or end the war.
Let's now talk culture, where Audrey Nabila Monkam has honored Cameroon in the Miss World 2021 competition that is taking place in Puerto Rico. Out of about 130 contestants, Audrey occupies the second position in the Mini Miss World contest that took place on Monday, December 6, 2021, qualifying her for the finals that will take place on December 16, 2021. And Omeko has an in-depth in the following report.
Audrey Nabila Monkam maintains her smile and positive spirit in the Miss World competition despite the timid support from her country. Thanks to divine grace, Nabila Monkam occupies the second position in the Top Model Challenge organized in Puerto Rico in the prestigious competition of Miss World 2021. Nabila Monkam makes history and upholds the Cameroon flag at the international level. The finals that took place in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Monday, December 6, 2021. The beautiful Nabila Monkam is amongst the top models, one of the prestigious and the 70th edition of Miss World. Olivia Iyase, Miss Ivory Coast 2021, occupies the first position of Miss World 2021 top model and automatically wins a place for the finals to take place in December 16, 2021. Nabila Monkam occupies the prestigious well-merited second position and Miss Puerto Rico third position of the favorites, occupying better positions in the beauty contest. A historic record as Cameroon arrives at this level in the competition for the first time in history. Days before the competition, Audrey Monkam's outfits increased her points in the competition, classifying her amongst the 15 contestants with beautiful traditional outfits. A historic performance worth applauding that paints an image and helps disseminate a clear information worldwide that Africa and Cameroon in particular don't only have beautiful creatures but brains filled with unbeatable knowledge. A miss to be encouraged as she faces the competition with a high positive spirit despite the cold mobilization to give her maximum support from her compatriots back in Cameroon. It is not late. She needs everyone's support to achieve success and make proud the image of Cameroon at the international level. In a competition where more than 130 Miss are taking part, there is need to increase her chances to win by voting online. Download the application Mobstar through Google Play Store. Click on Audrey Monkam in the research bar and click the profile corresponding and click on her page. Voting in her favor permits her to multiply her chances and bring home the prestige.
Afrobeat Production is the new house to accompany young talented artists in realizing their dreams of becoming popular artists in Cameroon and in the world at large. An objective of a press conference organized in Yaoundé to make the production house well known. We have details with Anne Omeko.
Martins, Sabrina Vibe, Queen Sparks, Silverstone and Lil Ramses are the artists assigned to the label under the umbrella of Afrobeat Productions to let their outstanding performances bloom in Cameroon, Africa and the world at large. These young artists believe in their dreams and passion for music.
I love music. It's a passion to me. So I didn't just get up one day to say, no, I want to start singing. So it's something that has been inborn. So I just had to okay, it's high time I bring out what is in me out. Professionally, it's just 2 years with Afrobeat Production.
No doubt there is hope for brighter days and greater achievements as these young talented Cameroonian artists are already burning the midnight candle. The results are visible.
I have songs. I have so many songs. The fact that you see just 13 songs in the album doesn't mean that's all of Queen's Parks. No, there are songs out there but not in the album. So I have so many songs, but this is just the first album that I have for now.
It is not only about writing and singing, their music pregnant with educative messages.
And my album is out, the title of my album is Love Agenda. My aim is that the maximum of youths to recognize themselves inside the album, because as youths we experience different love stories, heartbreaks, and so I just want to let everybody know that what they experience, all youths experience, and they are not alone. So together we can find solutions to remedy to that.
Some popular artists inspire them a lot.
I would say Singila is one of my best artists. In Cameroon, I have my big brother Loco, I have Magasco, I have also Mr. Leo, all those artists who gave me the inspiration.
Afrobeat Production House, with just 2 years of existence and 2 successful live concerts that saw the participation of popular Cameroonian artist Stanley Eno, is a stepping stone, space for fulfillment and refuge for young talents endowed with a spirit of hard work and great passion for urban music.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the 6 p.m. English news over the Republican television. On to our sport page, the 2021 election at the Cameroon Football Federation Fcfa will climax tomorrow, Saturday, December 11th in Yaoundé, as 76 delegates will be voting the Federation President and members of the Executive Bureau, with 4 candidates to run. Incumbent Seydou Mbombonjoya and challenger Samuel Etofis are favorites. Isaac Ngonkum tells us more in the following report.
The electoral fever at the Cameroon Football Federation, Fcfa, has heightened in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, this Friday, 10th December 2021, with just some few hours to the most anticipated polls at the Chinga Powerhouse. It is difficult to predict the winner of the upcoming elections. Even though 4 official candidates are still contesting the post of president, pundits are unanimous it is going to be a 2-horse race tomorrow between incumbent Seydou Mbombonjoya and principal challenger Samuel Etofis. The Electoral Commission, led by Superscale Magistrate Gilbert Schlek, is upbeat the electoral process will come to a happy end, with Cameroonian football emerging the overall winner. With the elections to be broadcast live on television and radio networks tomorrow, sports journalists duly accredited for the event are making last-minute preparations to ensure a successful coverage. Saturday, 11th December 2021 will certainly go down into the history books as the day Cameroon got a new president to lead the august institution. Executive Bureau members who will accompany the president-elect will also be voted in Yaoundé tomorrow. Seydou Mbombonjoya and his supporters will be hoping to continue with their program, while former footballer Samuel Etofis will be hoping to score the most important goal of his career, an election as Fcfa president.
And onto our foreign page, as at least 54 migrants have been killed and many injured after the truck they were being transported in crashed in southern Mexico. We have this story and more in the following report. At least 54 people have been killed and scores more injured after the truck they were being transported in crashed in southern Mexico. Hundreds of thousands of migrants fleeing poverty and violence in Central America try to cross through the Mexico each year in a bid to reach the U.S. It should be recorded here that the U.S.-Mexico border is the deadliest single crossing in the world. According to data from the International Organization for Migrants, this year alone at least 600 650 people have died trying to cross the border. One person has died and 18 others injured, including 2 leading figures from Tunisia's Islamist-inspired Ennahda party in a fire at its headquarters. The former Prime Minister and Ennahda Vice President Ali Lariat was hospitalized after jumping from the second floor of the building to escape the flames, as was Advisory Board head Abdel Karim Harouni, the party members report. It played a central role in national politics until President Crise sacked the government, suspended the assembly and seized a string of powers on July 25th. The blaze came 3 days after party warned it was facing an orchestrated defamation campaign aimed at shooting it out of national politics.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with that news out of the country that set the curtains to the end of our 6 p.m. English news over the Republican television. But before we leave you, a recap of our major points. Cameroon has joined the rest of the globe this Friday, December 10th, to commemorate the World Human Rights Day under the theme Equality. The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Mununa Fotso, special representative of His Excellency President Paul Biya, has presided over the dual ceremony of the Youth Plan Connect Cameroon and the Special Triennial Youth Plan at the Yaoundé Town Hall. The 2021 election at the Cameroon Football Federation Fcfa will climax tomorrow, Saturday, December 11th in Yaoundé, as 76 delegates will be voting the Federation President and members of the Executive Bureau. Ladies and gentlemen, Claude Mayo will be with you when it's exactly 8 p.m. for news in the French language. But until then, do stay tuned to interesting programs over the Republican television. Have a blessed weekend.